Well, I just got home from a weekend away from the S4. Definitely missed it. But more importantly, that means the car's been sitting all weekend. The oil is nice and cold, which means I won't burn my hand. We're gonna start it up and we'll move the car over a little bit this way. And then we're gonna change the oil and install a short throw dipstick. Now comes my favorite part. So I thought it might be helpful to go through the products that I'm using for this oil change. As far as the GTI went, I only used man filters, and on the S4 I'm only going to use man filters. These are basically OEM from what I understand. It's even got my name on it there. My friends over at Auto Engineering got me all this stuff. Shout out Sean and Rick, thank you guys. I am installing this dipstick. It's not actually a short throw dipstick, that's a joke. But it is yellow, which matches my brake calipers, so that's kind of nice. There is a spot in the engine with a plug on it right now for a dipstick. They just don't supply one from the factory, which is kind of silly. So, hi Dad. So we're gonna toss this one in there so I can actually read my oil level. Now finally, and what seems like it's the most important with Volkswagen and Audis, is the brand of oil that you're using. Now, my first oil change that I did on the GTI, I used Mobil 1, and I think it burned about a quart in 3,000 miles. After that, I started using Motul, which is this product. Not sponsored, I just like their stuff. And I wouldn't burn more than maybe like half of the dipstick. So if I filled it to full, it was maybe half empty by the time I got to 5,000 miles and changed it. So I really like Motul stuff. People also use Liqui-Moly with great success. Similar product, similar results. But I think it is important to keep in mind which oil brand you're using for your Volkswagen and Audi, because these cars like to burn oil. So when you use the good stuff, they don't burn as much. So I don't know what these metal things are. I'm about to find out, those things. But I think I've been scraping on those because there's a spot there and there's a spot right there. This should just pop right out. Oh, and it does. All day. That was easy. No way that's the drain plug. That was gonna be a nightmare. On the GTI it was off to the side, and you could just like pop it out and all the oil came out. I guess this way it comes straight down, but God, this is gonna make a mess. There we go. Just in case, I'll put the glove on, so if I get oil all over my hand, at least it'll be easy to clean. Come on, drain plug. Oh, it's like dripping everywhere. Come on, drain plug. Yeah! No splash either! Oh, my oil thing is not draining. Oh, because you have to let the breather out. That's so much better. It's not overflowing this time. Alright, well that's draining. A big plus side of the S4 compared to the GTI is that the oil filter is on top of the motor instead of on the bottom. On the GTI you actually have to drain the oil filter reservoir. It's kind of like separate from the main oil pan because it's downwards facing, so it holds oil. So this one you don't have to do that, which I'm very excited about. It's right on top here. And that's a pretty big socket. But luckily, I bought this guy when I had my GTI, and it seems like it's a pretty similar size. Now this isn't a perfect fit. This is Imperial, and that's metric, but it should get the job done. If it spins at all, I'll let you guys know. There we go. All right, that's loose. So I'm just gonna let that sit there for a little bit and let any oil that's in there drain out of the bottom. So Audi recommends 10K between oil changes. I usually do 5. I did this one at 10 to see what the oil's like, and it's not bad. But Rick made the point that if I want to keep the car, I should do it every 5, just as peace of mind and to keep the motor healthy. So from now on, I'll be doing an oil change every 5,000 miles instead of every 10,000 miles. Can you stop texting me? I'm filming a video. God, Tedward and Dr. M3. All day long. That's all they do. They just text me like I have nothing better to do. Just kidding. I text them too. They're good friends of mine. It's a joke. Back to the oil change. Another thing that auto engineering suggested doing is changing this crush washer right here on the end of that to a new one. Rick's quote was, if you change it and even put it in the right way, it still might leak, but it's good to change it because otherwise it might leak anyway. So yeah, that's Audi for you, I guess. All right, that's the old filter. We don't need that. So in here, there's a little gasket that should be replaced. See that? That should be replaced every time you change your oil because you're changing your oil filter, hopefully. And it has this little tab that I'm holding it by on the pliers. Make sure that tab goes right side up because that is helpful. I can use a greasy glove and get this all covered in oil, which is what you need to do. Tedward and Dr. M3, if you don't stop texting me, you can use some of the old oil to do this too. It's not a big deal. As long as it's, oh my goodness, as long as it's oiled up, you should be fine. Now I almost missed it, but there's a little O-ring that's right on the outside of the oil filter housing, right here. I can feel it. You'll have to just feel around for it. It's a little tiny thin one, and that's what this little guy is for. Here comes the part I know you all are super excited for. Got our little poser dipstick right here. This isn't really a dipstick, it's just kind of there. And I can just pull it off, and now it's that. Has a gasket on it. We'll just take this guy. And replace it. All right, and there she is. Now we got a dipstick. Now something that's kind of cool about these Motul bottles is they have a little funnel built into them, or I guess, yeah, like a little spout. So it makes it easier to pour. It doesn't just drip out the end, which I really like. Quart number 7, this should take us right to full. Now I should start it to get the oil circulating, but just to get an idea here. But a reading on the dipstick, we're halfway to full. That's perfect. Once the oil circulates and gets warm, we should be good. And there she is, back on the ground. Oil change is done. No real major issues, just a little bit of time learning and kind of figuring out what's what. I would highly recommend doing your own oil changes yourself. It's a super simple task and it'll make you feel really accomplished knowing that you did that by yourself. It's kind of hard to mess up too, as long as you just follow kind of the forum steps on your car. Thank you guys who stuck around for this video. I know it wasn't anything crazy entertaining, but it's something that needs to be done and I figured, why not film it? Thank you guys for watching. Go out there and spread some positivity, and I will catch you guys in the next video. Boom.